Round 1 is in the books for the 2021 NFL Draft, so I, Tom Downey, am here to hand out Round 1 grades for every single team that, made a first-round pick. And it's all thanks to Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com/chat, and you'll get 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code CHAT at checkout. That link, by the way, folks, will be in the comment section and in the description. We'll go team by team here from number 1 to number 32. So we'll start with Jacksonville, who had 2 first-round picks this year. No surprise, they took Trevor Lawrence with the first overall selection. That shouldn't have been much of a stunner whatsoever. They also took Travis Etienne with their other first-round pick, which was a little bit more of a surprise. You reunite the 2 Clemson superstar players, 1 quarterback, 1 running back. I'm going to give this one an A-. Now, I've been a pretty hard grader in the past, but I guess I'm feeling nice today in my instant gut reactions here. We can debate the value of going RB in round 1. I think it's fair. They still might get Trevon Merrick in round 2 since he is still on the board there. 2 good football players. I get it for the Jags. The Jets are next up here, also with 2 first-round picks. Zach Wilson, who I did not have as my number 2 quarterback. He was actually number 3, but not a bad pick by any stretch of the imagination. And they also took Alijah Vera-Tucker. You're trying to build around Zach Wilson. He is your future. He is your franchise. Don't do what you did with Sam Darnold. Vera-Tucker, for me, my number 12 player. Now, they did trade up to get him, and we will see how that impacts them for the rest of the NFL draft, but it's a good player. 2 good football players, 2 solid value picks as well. I like this for the Jets. An A- means you did great. A B means you did good. And that's what I think the Niners did with Trey Lance. I'm going to give this one a B+. Now, future draft classes without a first-round pick, that's going to make it a little bit tough for them to get a good grade because I will not grade on a curve for teams without or with fewer picks. I am so glad it wasn't Mac Jones. That's my number 1 takeaway for San Francisco. Lance, a much better player, at least upside-wise, than Mac Jones is. Another B+ here for the Atlanta Falcons, taking Kyle Pitts. I am sure they would have loved to have traded down. They simply did not have enough of an offer in the end. Is it a full-fledged A? Not really, but I'm not going to complain. Neither should Falcons fans about getting my number 3 overall player. We can just debate the value of a tight end later on. Now, many people thought the Bengals are going to take take Penei Sewell, right? I'm not so sure on that one. I had Jamar Chase in my mock draft. They should be able to get a good offensive lineman at the top of round 2. Maybe Tevin Jenkins ends up being the pick for them, but I like this for the Bengals. A- grade. You pair Burrow up with Jamar Chase. What more could you possibly want there in the end if you're looking for an impact playmaker to go along with Joe Burrow? So an A- grade for me here for the Cincinnati Bengals. I was expecting Jamar Chase. I was not surprised by it, and they got a good football player in the end. So good job there with the Bengals. Now, as mentioned, today's show is made possible by Manscaped. See it right there on your screen. 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code CHAT. That's manscaped.com/chat, and then use that promo code CHAT at checkout to ensure you get the 20% off and the free shipping on all their fantastic men's grooming products. Not just the Lawnmower 3.0. They even got some nice crop mops as well to help make your undercarriage, if you will, smell and feel just that much better. So check out the comment section and the description, manscaped.com/chat. We will put that link in there for you guys. So all you have to do is click, shop, and make your junk smell a little bit and look a little bit better. The Dolphins here with 2 first-round picks. Jaylen Waddle was the first selection. Then Jaelan Phillips was the second one. Now, value-wise, we can argue maybe it wasn't the best value pick, but I do like both football players. And Dolphins fans should feel good about this. I'm going to give it a B. This is a good start to their NFL draft. You can't complain too much. You get to pair Jaylen Waddle with Tua up again. That should be dynamic there. And if Jaelan Phillips stays healthy, he is, at least for me, the best edge rusher in this year's class. So what was the best round 1 pick? Spoiler alert, unless you want to go with Trevor Lawrence, I'm not going to complain about either. We have not gotten to the one that I like the most so far. So if you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and let me know who the best round 1 pick is. This question is the pinned comment on today's video. One of my favorite ones, and one of the only A-pluses I gave out, I believe I gave out 3 in total, yes I did, was Penei Sewell to the Detroit Lions. My number 2 overall player. You want to run the football, Detroit? You want some power? You want some meanness? You want a football guy? As Dan Campbell likes to say, you got one in Penei Sewell. Maybe he's your left tackle, maybe he's your right tackle year 1. Doesn't really matter in the end. He's going to be a fantastic football player. Jaycee Horn, the pick here to the Carolina Panthers, went back and forth between a B- and a C+ here. Ended up being the first defensive player drafted. My number 13 guy, quote-unquote 5-pick reach there. I would have liked Rashawn Slater as well, but I'm not going to complain about it. I like his attitude. He is a culture changer on defense. Matt Rule is going to love him after what he did this past year at South Carolina. All right, back-to-back corners here, breaking the hearts of Cowboys fans everywhere. Patrick Surtain, giving this one a B-. I like the player, number 11 overall. Corner was not that big of a need for Denver. They paid Ronald Darby. They drafted Michael Ojemudia last year in the 3rd round. They kept, I'm drawing a blank on their nickel guy, whatever. They signed Kyle Fuller as well. Corner was not a need. Denver wanted to go with a cornerback here. Maybe they'll try and make a move for a quarterback. Maybe you shouldn't have passed on Justin Fields in the end. Now the Eagles got wild with it, trading up over the Giants to secure Devonta Smith. Now, trading up a 3rd-round pick, it's not that bad. The Eagles clearly wanted Smith, so they moved down, then moved back up. They get a good football player. I'm not going to give it an A. Now, I can't quite do it since you moved up, but I do like it for Philadelphia. Now we'll see how they fix their defense going forward. The Chicago Bears, folks, they found a way to do it. They got Justin Fields at pick number 11. This is a potential job-saving trade-up. It was expensive, but a potential job-saving move by Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy to go get my number 2 quarterback. I think he's going to be a franchise guy. I love this by Chicago. They got aggressive. They were desperate, but they got Justin Fields. And that matters. That is a brilliant, brilliant move by the front office in Chicago. To go out and to go get a legitimate franchise quarterback, that is an A+ move. They found value out to the top 10. Well done, Chicago. C for the Dallas Cowboys here, taking Micah Parsons. It was going to be a D, but you know what? They traded down, and I will give them credit for that, and they got extra picks to play with. Micah Parsons was my number 16 overall player, but the Cowboys have not learned from their mistakes. They continue to invest in off-ball linebackers who are not good in coverage and wonder why, well, our corners are bad, our secondary is bad. We could have taken Rashawn Slater, who I had a top 6 grade on there. You take Micah Parsons with legitimate off-the-field red flags. Hope that's all good there. Clearly the Cowboys think it ends up being there. If he hits, I will happily look stupid. Because Micah Parsons does have upside. He has talent. He has to be better in coverage, though. You wanted the corners. Everyone knew it, and you didn't get one as a result. And then you trade down, and you take another linebacker. That's not good use of your number 1 draft asset. So, Cowboys fans, you want to be mad at me for telling you the truth? Okay, enjoy your Tristan Hill over Juan Thornhill pick and tell me how that went for you anyway. All right, the Chargers, Rashawn Slater. Now, this is what we're talking about here. Number 6 player, you need a franchise left tackle, and because the Cowboys and the Panthers and others were like, whatever, we'll wait on one, you got him at 13. Well done, LA. So I like that one quite a bit there by the Chargers. I almost gave that one an A+, but I can't give out all A's here in the end. Now, Mac Jones, the Patriots, and you could argue a C here. I got a 2nd-round grade on Mac Jones, but pick 15 is much more in line with where he should go as opposed to number 3 overall. So Bill Belichick gets his guy, a new franchise quarterback. I think he'll have success in the NFL. I think he'll have a Jimmy Garoppolo-type career, maybe even a Kirk Cousins-type career. You get that guy at 15, I don't mind that one at all. Now, Zaven Collins, when we look back in 4 or 5 years, of all the guys that I'm most concerned about going like, haha, you idiot, Tom, you gave them a C-, it's Zaven Collins. Because the upside is obvious. people at his size do not move the way that he does. Now, he did balloon to 270 at the medical checks in Indy. Is he going to be an edge for them? He's a tweener for me. At his size, almost 6'5", he should be much better at taking on blockers and being able to be an edge setter and a run filler in gaps. And he wasn't that when I watched him at Tulsa. That is an issue for me. But he can do a bunch of different things. He can blitz. When he's filling gaps correctly, he stops the run pretty well, and he can cover a little bit on top of that. So high risk, high reward player here. He goes 16 to Arizona, but I can't sugarcoat it too much there. I'm just going to give it a C-. So what do you think was the worst round 1 pick? Get your votes in for me right now. It's okay to be a hater. I know how fandoms are. They always assume, even though if I told you, hey, you're going to take this player, you'd be like, no, I hate that. Once the pick gets made, well, all of a sudden it feels great, doesn't it? So get your votes in, the worst round 1 selection. Was it the Raiders? Well, they went weird again, taking Alex Leatherwood to be their new right tackle at pick number 17. I do like Leatherwood. I had better players on the board, though. Not a colossal reach. This is better than taking Cleveland Ferrell. This is better than taking Damon Arnett. But, oh boy, man, you had Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. You had Tevin Jenkins, who are still there. Maybe there's something off the field, in which case, okay, different conversation. Leatherwood's a fine pick. It's nothing special. He will be a good football player. But I thought the Raiders could have gotten someone just a little bit better. Jamin Davis to the Washington football team. I'll give it a B-. Now, maybe you guys hadn't heard of him. He was a surprise round 1 pick for us here, though, at Chat Sports. He goes to Washington at number 19 overall, where they find a way to find a dynamic, potentially rangy, still needs work in coverage, off-ball linebacker, the type of player that Ron Rivera's had success with in the past. Kadarius Toney, and I went back and forth on this one here, trading down and getting a future first, and Dave Gettleman throwing up the double birds to everyone who said he would never do it. I give him credit for that one. I think Toney's at 20 is a bit of a reach, though. There is some off-the-field stuff that has to be vetted. Clearly, the Giants feel okay with it there. Here's my biggest point. This is not the guy for Jason Garrett. You might have to scheme for touches early for Kadarius Toney, which is fine. That's not exactly Jason Garrett's M.O. So I worry a little bit about Toney struggling early. Better OC might end up being okay. Kwity Paye, the pick at number 21 by the Indianapolis Colts. High upside player. The Colts have missed on these guys in the past. Kimoko Toure, Ben Banigou. I think he fits, though, with what Matt Eberflus wants to do on defense. Some inside-outside flex. They needed more pass rush help. And with the way the tackle board has fallen so far, they might get one, a starting caliber one, in round 2. Speaking of round 2, we will be live for it, and round 3 and all of day 3 as well. If you want every single pick broken down, none of that, we're going to do interviews on day 3, blah, blah, blah. Subscribe to us here at Chat Sports. Hit that big red button at youtube.com/chatsportstv. youtube.com/chatsportstv. All right, the Titans are up here. And this is a tough one for me. I love the upside of Caleb Farley. I'm going to give it a B+. And on the flip side, this might look dumb if his back is not healthy. But before his back surgery, his second one in his young life, I had Caleb Farley as my number 1 corner. He was my number 1 defensive player. He was that good. I love Caleb Farley. I absolutely love him. The back is a major, major red flag. If he's healthy, he's going to be a star. If he's not, it's going to end up being a bust. All right, the Vikings, back-to-back years, I love it. Christian Darrisaw, my number 15 overall player, slides all the way down to Minnesota, who traded down and still got a guy I would have minded if they took him in round 1. So great job, Minnesota. This is back-to-back years. I love what they have done in the draft. Hopefully there's no Jeff Gladney off-the type of stuff there. But this was the third of my 3 A+ grades given out so far. All right, Najee Harris here. Now, we can debate the value of a running back if you want. I am fine with that. That's why it's not getting A grade for me here in the end. But if you want a focal point workhorse back for at least his rookie contract, that is what Najee Harris brings to you. Now, the Raiders still must find offensive line help, or this is a bad pick. But as we sit right now, only through round 1, I'm fine with it. I'm okay with this for the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, the Browns, Greg Newsome. I love it. Corner, I believe, was a need for this organization. I had a number 19 overall on my board here is what Greg Newsome was. There was some medical stuff, some injury history that had to be checked out. I think that's why he slipped a little bit. But he can play outside. Denzel Ward, Troy Hill, Greg Newsome, if Greedy Williams can get healthy, that's going to be really, really, really good for the Cleveland Browns. Now, I don't want you guys to be homers on this next particular question here. I don't want you to be. So who won round 1? Don't just pick your favorite team. I want you to be as honest and as real as you possibly can be. So who do you believe won round 1 of the 2021 NFL Draft? Go on down in the comments section. Get your votes in. Team focus here. You can mention a player if you want. That's fine. But I would prioritize the team instead. Let's talk Baltimore Ravens here, as they had 2 first-round draft picks and made some fairly interesting choices in the end. I'm going to give them a B-. For starters, I do like a lot the Rashad Bateman pick. I have no trouble with that one whatsoever. You found a potential number 1 receiver for Lamar Jackson, and you needed one. You had to find somebody who could win consistently on the outside, and not just with pure speed like Marquise Brown sometimes does, but you also found a good football player who fits that role. The lowest graded round 1 pick that I had, Jayson Oweh. And I get it. The upside is there. He is so fast. He's a freak athlete. But you know what? At his speed, how do you have 0 sacks last year? How do you have very limited college production? Now, I think the Ravens are a good fit for him, and the upside is sky high. That's a gamble I was not going to be willing to make. I would have taken Azeez Ojulari. I would have taken somebody else altogether. That brings down the grade for the Ravens fairly significantly. Peyton Turner. I think this will be a popular worst pick of round 1. I actually like Peyton Turner, though. 48th overall player for me. But this was pick 28. This is 20 picks early. I had better edges on the board. Inside, outside flex. I like Turner. Please don't hate me too much there, Saints fans. But let's be honest. That's not the pick you thought they were going to make in this year's draft. The Packers then take Eric Stokes, who, if you wanted a true, pure outside corner for Green Bay, knowing that Asante Samuel might be a nickel and Elijah Molden is a nickel, Stokes was my best one on the board, number 44 overall. You can talk me into a C+ there. I'm worried about Aaron Rodgers, but we can only grade on the draft and not what's going on elsewhere for Green Bay. Gregory Rousseau, my 58th overall player, as things kind of got weird at the back end of round 1 here. I get it. He's got the length. He's got the size. He produced great at Miami. The way he won it for the Hurricanes, though, is not translatable. He is not going to win on the interior at 245 like he played last year. Now, he's bulked up. Didn't test that well either. The sack production is great. He needs to grow. If he hits, you're talking, a Calais Campbell, a Chandler Jones. If he doesn't, I got visions of Deion Jordan dancing in my head. Finally, Joe Tryon, who I thought he was going to sneak into the back end of round, at least had a chance to there. 54 overall on my board. Opt out in 2020. Good athlete, too. Kind of in that Jayson Oweh mold. There's a lot of work to be done there. Now, he's in a great spot in Tampa. Where he is at is going to allow him to get almost a redshirt year, become a number 3 to start, and be a rotational piece. So, in Tampa, behind Jason Pierre-Paul, behind Shaq Barrett, I like that one. Overall, though, look, I got to be honest here. I didn't have him graded that highly. Edge is always a need. They always go early. It's a weird edge class, but it's not the route I would have necessarily gone if I were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you guys have not already, hit that big red button and subscribe. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. We will be live for round 2 tomorrow as well, along with round 3 and all of day 3 on top of that. So for everyone here still in the live chat, You guys are awesome. I appreciate that so much. You guys were awesome throughout today's live coverage here. So if you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe today, youtube.com/chatsportstv.